All right, guys, we are back. Me and Tex and AJ Raiders. We are the three-man power trip.
That's it.
So, what are you guys up to today?
Oh, not much. Getting ready to talk about some actual good wrestling, not like your, elitist WWEF nonsense. We're gonna tell you all the good stuff. So,
Yeah, well, I think you guys would find my list pretty much quite interesting, especially the from 20 to 11.
yeah, the anybody who wants the part one to this, go to Casey is Raw YouTube channel and yell at Casey for his nonsensical a Hogan worship, and I'll let you fill in the rest. Once you go watch it. But um, needless to say, Black Hogan is a problem, and Casey will tell you all
Got a
about it.
hashtag going.
Yeah,
Black Hogan.
hashtag Black Hogan. So share that hashtag around everybody. But yeah, so yeah, we're gonna do part two to the top 20 WCW talents, and this is personal for AJ, Casey, and myself. So this is non-official. This is just who we liked and our reasonings behind it.
No,
But
this is official. This is
oh, is it
official.
official?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's 100% official. This is
So like going for do we need to tell Vince McMahon to update who was
yes,
good or whatever? Oh,
exactly.
okay.
This
Well,
guy,
I guess it's not Vince anymore. Who is that? Hunter or is that Stephanie? Who do we talk to about this?
it's Stephanie Hunter,
Uh,
and you gotta remember Nick Khan because he.
yeah.
yeah, it might be. Yeah, it might be Nick Khan. So we might need to find his phone number, but we'll send a strongly worded email about they need to adjust things.
Yes.
But all that being said, since AJ Rader's the special guest of honor here, who is your number 10 pick there, AJ?
Scott Hall.
The bad guy.
Yep. Like we've ended off, I'm gonna follow start up again with Scott Hall. That's
I
why I
like
said when you said it was like the same thing. So it's pretty much
bro.
you guys add on to it. I mean, come on, he was founder
Yeah,
of the NWO. I mean,
Yes.
the
yeah.
outsider.
That.
Scott Hall was cool, man. He was the definition of cool. I mean,
Mhm.
he only needed a toothpick and some hair gel for a gimmick. That's how cool this guy was.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was just awesome.
Granted, my best friend sent me a picture of someone. As Razor coming off the elevator and he's doing the walk like
Oh,
that.
the walk, yeah.
It's like I told him, it was like, granted, I would do that every once in a while. I don't know, I just do,
I
but
always, I always thought like if I ever win the lottery, I'm just gonna walk like that everywhere because I'm rich and I can do whatever I want.
well, what sucks, honestly, I didn't win the $1 billion
Right.
lottery. I didn't even get one fucking number out of
I didn't
five
even play it.
tickets.
The first week that it was so big, I bought one ticket and I didn't win anything. The second time when it was over a billion, I spent $100 on it and I
Oh
won like
yeah.
70 or 80. I didn't win much back, but you know,
At least
if
you got some of it back. That's better
you
than
can't
nothing.
win, you can't hit a home run if you don't swing the bat right. So it's
Exactly.
all good. But yeah, no, Scott Hall, he's definitely a cool pick, man. That's a good top 10 pick. Like I said, he was 11 for me, and it was stiff competition back and forth. Like I said, I've rewrote my top 10 3 times just within the midst of doing this podcast. But yeah, no, he was good, dude.
Well, as my number 10, this might be controversial,
Oh
but
Jesus.
it's going to be the Shockmaster.
Oh, oh.
I mean, think about it. The guy had a very. You remember his entrance from forever now because his
Oh
uh,
yeah.
awesome entrance. He plowed through that wall head
Well,
first,
In
and
a stormtrooper helmet, no less.
yeah, yeah,
he
and
was the gayest of the stormtroopers covered in glitter. That's what he was. So
You figured, like, it was so obvious a stormtrooper's helmet. Like,
oh, of course, yeah.
like they couldn't like modify it a little bit more instead of just dip it in glue and put silver.
They probably had $10 budget worth to put that whole costume together. I mean, who wears? He's wearing like a Viking type puffy
Yeah.
sleeveless coat, a
Yeah,
stormtrooper helmet, and some like blue jeans. Like it doesn't even match. You know what I mean? What was it? Shockmaster because you were shocked when you saw him? I never figured that out or understood that. But I don't know.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts, AJ?
Really, it's like it was a one-hit wonder. I barely even remember it. I've seen clips here or there, like when people. I've seen that WWE, WCW, oh my god moments, and it's like
yeah.
Oh
that's
yeah.
like the headliner all the time. It's like, eh, you know, the Shockmaster wasn't really a big thing. It was just like, what the hell were they thinking?
Shut your whore mouth. I mean, who, who else had a entrance like that? I mean, just a random wall with fireworks coming out of nowhere, and
That
then
was by
him.
accident, though, Casey. He wasn't supposed to go to the wall. He didn't know where the entrance was.
Didn't they put the 2x4 too high on that wall or something?
Yeah, that's
I
right.
believe so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, or well, I heard that was almost intentional. Like they had it, like they did the rehearse and it was good, and then they put a 2x4 in there, and that's why he tripped over that. Yeah, I'm
That's
shocked they
funny.
did that shit live. You figured that shit should have been pre-recorded, right?
You would have thought so.
I mean that you should have been smart. No, they should have been smart enough to do that pre-recorded. I mean, with how long that.
Casey, we're going to need you to cosplay Shockmaster. We're going to need you to go
Oh
buy a
yeah,
stormtrooper helmet.
Casey could totally be the Shockmaster.
We're going to need you to go shirtless with that weird jacket thing on and fall through a wall. Can you do that?
Casey, go to Walmart or Target. I don't know if they still sell them, the Stormtrooper helmets.
Yeah,
Go get one, spray paint it like sparkly silver,
yeah,
and you should go on Derailed with it just one night. It'd be
Oh, that'd be
hilarious.
great.
yeah. Go trick or treat. Like I was
But
like, that'd be interesting. I mean,
that is
how hard could
okay.
it? I was gonna say, how hard could it be to find a stormtrooper helmet?
Oh, you can find it on eBay.
I'm sure Disney has one for sale because they're
Oh yeah.
marketing the crap out of that stuff. But yeah.
Oh yeah, good point. Yeah,
So
but
yeah, my number 10, we're going to go with the madness himself, the Macho Man. Oh yeah.
Wow,
You
that's
know,
low. That's low on the list.
it is, like I said, this list has jumped back and forth, but you know, kind of like how we talked about on the last episode. In my head, Macho Man is a WWF guy, but the Madness version is the WCW guy, and that's the version I'm specifically talking about. And like I said, Macho could have been any of these numbers on this list. He just happened to fall here, but obviously, there's so many things we can talk about with Macho Man. He was, awesome in so many ways.
See, being me personally, I only seen Macho Man wrestle in WCW because I remember when he debuted on Saturday Night.
Right.
So, in my opinion, it's like, and I've seen him in all the Slim Jim commercials because I'm only like 3 years younger than you, Tex. And Casey, aren't you
Right.
in your 40s?
I'm 40.
Yeah. So, like, you guys seen him in WWF. I've never seen him. I've seen clips from like when he was Macho King and, the Miss Elizabeth and him getting married at, what was it? What,
At
what show was that?
SummerSlam.
Was it
SummerSlam, yeah.
SummerSlam? I thought it was before that. I thought it was leading up the Survivor Series when the Gakuli Nuclear came out or whatever out of the egg.
No,
No?
no, it was a
Okay.
SummerSlam
Okay.
because that it was the match made in heaven and the match made in hell, and that's when
Oh, okay.
Warrior tried to hold up Vince for money.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
So, and it was, I believe that match was pretty fucking horrible. That's why I heard.
I don't know.
Well,
I
AJ,
never
who you
seen
got
it.
at 10, brother?
Or we already did 10. You mean 9?
Or
Yes,
9, excuse me, yeah. Excuse me,
Got
yeah.
Eddie Guerrero.
Get at all. That's a
Yep.
good one.
The Halloween Havoc 1997 match against Rey Mysterio.
That's a great match.
Perfect
Yeah.
match. That, not to mention, he was a founder of the LWO.
Oh, yeah.
He won the cruiserweight title so many times. Won the WWE championship. I mean, come on. Even in WWE, he had a great run. And I guarantee to this day, if Eddie would have never had that heart attack and died, Chris Benoit would still be alive. He
Oh,
would
yeah.
have never. He would have never killed Nancy or David or Daniel. None of that. Eddie, if Eddie was still alive, none of this would have happened ever.
I buy
That's
it.
my theory.
Well, yeah, I mean, that was a big deal for Eddie. I mean, or for Benoit. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously he was,
That was his best friend.
that was, Benoit has his issues. He is what he is, but,
Right.
that, but that Halloween Havoc match, like I said, I'm not a big cruiserweight guy, but holy crap, that thing was insane. And I think that to this day, on the other side of that match, Rey Mysterio, that's still his best gear that he's ever worn.
Oh yeah.
That
Did
that
you watch Raw?
purple.
Was it Raw
I thought
or
it
was
was a purple
the 20th
bodysuit.
anniversary? Yeah, the 20th anniversary of Rey Mysterio. When
Oh no, I didn't see
they
that.
actually brought out the actual attire,
Yeah.
the ring attire.
Yeah.
Leo gave it to him. Yeah, said I found this. You haven't seen this in 25 years, and it was the Halloween Havoc outfit, and he was like almost broken down in tears when he saw it. He was like, "This is the
Wow.
real one." He's like, "Yeah."
I hear they tries to not reuse the same getup.
Well, no, because he every time he wears a new one, they make a different action figure, and he gets more money. I do
Yeah,
the
of
same
course.
thing. You know what I mean?
I mean, he's
Mark,
rich enough to have a brand new one every time he goes
Oh
out.
yeah,
So
yeah, that one's good. Casey, who you got at 9?
I had to go with pretty much his right hand man from Hollywood Hogan. Hollywood Hogan is Disciple.
Oh, you're gonna go Disciple, aka the Zodiac,
Horace
aka the
Hogan.
Booty Man. Um,
Oh, what? No, that wasn't Horace Hogan. That was Booty Man. You're right.
yeah, he was well, for the uninitiated, he was Brutus the Barber Beefcake in WWF, and
Yeah.
then, or he's also known as Hogan's Weed Carrier, but
I,
you know, uh,
I don't know what you're talking about. His name is Disciple, if you ask me. I mean,
uh, well, just because he grows a beard and puts on sunglasses, he'll always be Booty Man or Zodiac to me. But
Yep.
that see, I never knew that was Brutus the Barber Beefcake whenever I was a kid.
I didn't either.
I had no idea.
he looked
I
totally
didn't even know it was
different.
the Booty Man
Yeah,
either.
yeah, oh yeah, he was Booty Man. He was Zodiac, and I was older I was watching some documentary on WWE, and they said who of all he was. I was like, holy crap! Like, because he was, you know, a very versatile character, but that Disciple character, he had some pretty big moments early in the NWO. I mean, obviously, that's kind of a comedic pick, but
Yeah.
he had some big moments.
Now, didn't he? If I'm correct, didn't he join the NWO back in like 1998? Like once the Wolf Pack and the Black and White Hollywood, like where they split. Yeah, because that's when it all happened. Because Nash
I thought it
left.
was before that. 'Cause I thought Crow Sting, white and black face paint, went after him one time.
I
I'm
don't
not
think so.
sure.
No, I don't. I think it was '98 when the whole feud with Nash and Hogan. Yeah, because it was on
It may
Thunder.
have been. I don't remember. You're probably right. I can't remember, but yeah, no, he was integral, especially in there in that NWO run. I mean, he like I said, how else is Hogan going to get his weed if his carrier's not there to hold it for him? But
True. Well, nowadays you just go to the dispensary.
right now he
that's
just goes
true.
down, whatever. But number 9, I've got Goldberg because he was the answer for Stone Cold Steve Austin. He was so many things, and you know, I mean the streak. He he pinned Hogan in the Georgia Dome. He did so many things, and another big reason why, once again, that 83 weeks thing came about because Goldberg was there, but great. He could come back again 5 more times, and I'm still going to be excited for it. But that's just me. So, what you got at 8, AJ?
For number 8, I
Yep,
got Rey Mysterio Jr.
Mysterio.
Not Rey Mysterio that everybody knows. Rey Mysterio Jr. Let's get
Right.
it right.
Oh yeah.
Well, I heard when he went to WWE, the person, I guess
Buyout.
his uncle said you can be now known as Rey Mysterio. Like you can drop the junior.
Huh.
So because that's what I heard. But is that correct? I mean, I don't know.
I don't
I'm not
know.
sure.
That's a good question, to be honest with you, Casey. That is, 'cause I have no clue. I've watched him when he was in ECW for like a short minute, and then when he debuted in WCW in '95, I mean, he came in and he left when WCW got bought out. He's very few people that jump. I mean, if you think about it, Eddie Guerrero jumped, Jericho jumped, Benoit, Perry Saturn,
Yeah.
all those guys, they jumped. Rey Mysterio never left the company. Even when
Right.
they took off his mask, he
Yeah.
never left.
Yeah, I can't believe that they ever did that. That's insane to me.
Yeah,
Like,
that's it's like a rule in luchador wrestling. You don't take off their mask because
right.
that's where their power lies.
Well, I
And it's
heard there.
disrespectful.
What I heard is when he was gonna go back to WWE, not only go to do his debut in WWE, he went to Mexico and talked to the people who, I guess, pretty much runs the power down there in Mexico. They had to
Triple
make
A.
AAA or wherever. I mean, and make good. Say, hey, I'm gonna be putting the mask back on, and so he had to talk to them. That's what I heard about
Oh,
that. That he didn't just
I've never
suddenly
heard
just.
that before.
I mean, because he had to get permission.
Hmm.
That's what I heard
Man, you
recently.
might be right because I have never heard that before. That's news to me.
Well,
Well, when it comes to Mysterio, though, I mean, the dude, obviously, his accomplishments in WWE, but he 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 was the cruiserweight that wasn't a cruiserweight. You know what I mean? Like you
He
had
was a high flyer.
Juventudes, you had all of these other guys at WCW. He was like on that next level, right?
oh yeah,
He
And
was a breakout star from the beginning, just as
yes.
Alpha.
oh yeah, I mean the dude was insane.
I mean,
That's why.
no, go
Sorry,
ahead, Casey. I'm sorry.
I was going. No, it's alright. I was gonna say that's why they tried to recreate him with, like, that's why they try to have Sin Cara to kind of take his replacement,
Bro.
and
There's only one Rey Mysterio.
and it certainly ain't gonna be Dominic. I mean,
Yeah,
Dom
no, that ain't working. Yeah, that's yeah,
Dominic sucks. I'm sorry.
yeah.
He's not that bad. I mean, he's trying to live up to the Mysterio family. I mean, he reminds me more of Eddie than Ray at
Well, it
all.
doesn't
Like,
help with the haircut either. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah,
Yeah,
that 1997 Eddie Guerrero haircut. That mullet. Yeah,
and not only that, he looks like he's wearing a D'Lo Brown vest too.
yeah.
Oh
I'm
yeah.
like, I'm like, like he's doing everything his dad's doing. He really needs to find his own character, not trying to be, you know. It was okay for when he got the tag team championship with his dad, but
Hmm.
he really needs to figure out what's his real character gotta be because it's not working.
Yeah, he's got to be his own self, his own person. He can't follow in his daddy's shoes.
Yeah.
I agree.
Who you got at 8, Casey?
I had to go with the Butcher.
The Butcher.
Butcher. He
Yeah.
wasn't in WCW.
Yeah, he was.
The
Not
Butcher.
the AEW Butcher, the WCW Butcher.
Butcher.
This, yeah,
Butcher.
yeah.
WCW. I
Yeah,
don't even
Dude,
know
I
that.
can't even remember. I can't even remember this.
this
You're
guy.
talking to the WCW guy here. I'm like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
Butcher.
I don't know that one.
Well, this
Yeah.
guy went against Hulk Hogan for the WCW belt at I believe it's Starcade 94.
Oh,
Hold on.
okay. So that was early.
Yeah.
I'm gonna Google this dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, hold on. I'm looking at my tape and my DVD right now. Hold on. Is that something I've never heard of? You're right, Casey. You're right. It was. It was Starcade '94. It says right here.
Yeah.
That this is the night Hulk Hogan wants to carve up the Butcher in the battle of the World Heavyweight Title. You're right.
Dude, the Butcher is
Yeah.
also Zodiac in freaking.
I
Oh
don't,
my
I don't know what you're talking about. I mean, it's the Butcher if you ask me.
god. Oh my god.
Casey stomped us on that one. Like, holy shit. Good on you, man.
Thank you. But I mean, I just really only know him for being the Butcher and
You
what.
just picked another alternate gimmick of Brutus the freaking Barber Beefcake. Oh my god.
It's Hogan and Beefcake over here for Casey.
Wow. Casey's Raw loves Hulk Hogan so much he picks his side bitches as top 10 guys. Wow.
Well, I don't know what you're talking about. I mean,
Mm.
you said something about Disciple. I mean, Disciple and the Butcher are completely two different people. If you
Oh, totally. They're totally. You, they're so different. You've never seen them in the same place at the same time. But
right?
Right.
Yes, they never fight each other.
right, yeah. I mean, the Disciple and the Butcher, they could be like tag team champions. Like, they'd be great.
Yeah, but they never seem to cross paths.
Right. It's just one's working Thursday, the other's Monday night. You know how it goes. It is what it is. Well, I'm gonna diamond cut your pick with mine, with the master of the diamond cut, the dude who mastered the self high five, and that's Diamond Dallas Page. The
Yes,
dude's
he's
incredible.
I got him higher on the list.
He was originally higher on it for me, but once again, I reworked my top 10. But Diamond Dallas Page, the dude, there's many versions of him, but my favorite was just the blue jeans with like the stomach taped up look. That
1997.
that was always my
Yep.
favorite Diamond Dallas Page,
That
and the dude's just so cool. I mean, and especially what he's done after wrestling, helping all the
yeah.
guys that he has. Anybody who does that, that's a good person. You know what I mean? And I mean, coming through the crowd before Dean Ambrose or Moxley had to ruin it for everybody, and
Yep.
it's just so. The one going back to the Goldberg thing for a minute, the whole streak. If you were going to have anybody in the streak, it should have been Diamond Dallas Page.
Yeah.
Could you imagine how big of a pop that would have been
Oh
if
yeah.
even you could have had Diamond Dallas Page hit a diamond cutter out of nowhere, He gets a quick 1, 2, 3, and then as soon as 3 hits, Goldberg puts that shoulder up. So you don't ruin the Goldberg character. You could still say, "Oh, well, it was a fluke or it was something
It
else."
could have been controversial too,
Right?
just
It
like
could
the
have.
Kevin Nash. Right.
Yeah, just like so many other finishes. You didn't have to bring out a freaking cattle prod and do what you did. But
Right.
Diamond Dallas Page, I mean, he got to bang Kimberly Page, the
Oh,
hottest woman in
Oh, of
WCW.
course.
Kimberly
You know,
Page.
just
Mm-mm.
for that alone, he's awesome. Come on now. I
Oh
love me
yeah.
some DDP.
I mean,
Not to mention those wars with Randy Savage in
Oh
1997,
yeah, dude.
Spring Stampede,
That
the
series of matches that they
Halloween
had was
Havoc.
amazing, dude. Oh yeah.
Oh man, like those are my favorite matches. Like if I ever go back to like 1997 WCW, those matches in general, people say Sting and Hogan, yeah, that was a good match at Starrcade. But you look at Spring Stampede and that sudden death match
Oh
with
yeah.
DDP and Macho Man with Liz uh and Kimberly fighting,
Oh yeah.
that was iconic.
Oh
I
yeah.
don't care what you WWE marks want to say. That was a good fucking match.
Who you got at 7, brother?
I got Casey's favorite wrestler of all time.
I assume you're talking about Hogan.
Yeah, that
Which
doesn't work
version?
for me, brother.
What?
Hollywood.
Okay. I mean, there's 3 versions of Hogan. Remember that.
Right, yeah. There's the red and yellow, there's the black, and then there's the other black Hogan.
The Black Hogan. Hey, is that trended yet on Twitter?
Oh, it will be. You
They
just wait till
go.
it gets out. It's going to be trending, and Casey's going to have to go on CNN and apologize for his new hashtag. So,
At least, hopefully, he's wearing the Bane mask doing that.
yeah.
No.
I'm sorry for my racial epithets. I didn't mean that. Yeah, it's going to be
You
great.
know,
Yeah.
I was gonna wear that during the pandemic, like to Walmart. I'd be like, I'm like, you can't stop me. It's a mask. Like, if I put like a real mask under it, I'm like, hey, it's a mask, right? So why
Get
can
away
I
with
not
it.
wear it?
There was a guy. Uh, I saw it online. He wore a Batman mask, but
That would have been
obviously
cool.
this whole area is uncovered, but technically
Right.
still had a mask on, and it was above his nose, so they couldn't say anything to him. But yeah, no, it's yeah.
Hey, good point. I mean, when it's open, I mean, then it does go over his nose. So
So why is Hogan at number 7 for you? Like what moment or time or like why is he there for you?
Definitely, like once he dropped that leg on Macho Man and the NWO formed, like that night when all those fans just started throwing everything at them, like
Yep.
you knew this is something that's hot, red hot, and
That's
Hogan's a
real
part
heat.
of it.
That's real heat right there, buddy.
Not to mention, you text. You remember when they were doing filming at Disney
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
when Nash threw Rey Mysterio against that trailer like a lawn dart, and Hogan came out with his spray paint, his infamous spray paint, and sprayed the TNT uh, trailers with NWO for life. Right
Oh
then
yeah.
and there, started it all. And then on top of it, the feud with Sting, the separation of the NWO with NWO Hollywood, NWO
Yep.
Wolfpack. Even though NWO Wolfpack, we'll get to that because that's all Kevin Nash. But still, I mean, come on. What can you say? I mean, Hulk Hogan had a great run in both companies, WWF and WCW. Will he always
yeah,
Oh
be
yeah.
known as a
hey,
WWF guy? Of course. Is he always a politician first about money and his power and position? Of course. Because Hogan, if he doesn't get his way, well, that doesn't work for me, brother. That's pretty
Right.
much it.
he was
I need
smart.
to start using that line, see if I can get away with it.
Well, he
He
was
probably
smart.
could.
Well, he's smart enough in WCW to get creative control.
Well, yeah. What do
And
you
as
expect
much,
when Eric Bischoff? He's in Eric Bischoff's ear constantly saying, "Oh, we
yeah,
got to do this, brother. This is how the WWF works, brother." It's like, come on, man. Enough with the bullshit. Cut the shit. We know what you're here for. We know what you're trying to do. It's common sense.
Right. Yeah. Well, let's see. Number 7.
For me,
We're gonna go. We're gonna go with the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes,
Okay.
and he. Obviously, there's a lot of things that can be mentioned here. Great commentator, amazing wrestler.
Oh yeah.
Obviously, I didn't get to see as much of his stuff live because I'm
Same
not,
here.
but he directly helped create the greatest championship of all time, and that being Big Gold. And for me,
Well,
he didn't. Okay,
not really.
he helped create and design. That's why it has like the Western belt buckle look.
Right.
There's a lot of stories you can go back and forth on, but
I
tend to believe that he had some input. That's one of the reasons why.
But do you really want to know the real truth about Big Gold? Ric
Please.
Flair had that belt made personally for himself from Crumrine belt buckles. He literally went into there because he
I've
was getting
heard that story too.
a belt buckle made, and he said, "Hey, would you guys be interested in making a championship belt for me?" And they said,
Right.
"A championship belt? What do you mean?" And he said, "Well, I'm a wrestler, and I want a championship made." And this was back in the NWA days. Because
Yeah.
you got to
Yes.
remember, before the NWA, before Big Gold, it was the 10 pounds of gold, Sweet Charlotte.
the Devil
So,
Globe.
right, that's what
Right.
I know Dusty more for is the Big Gold, is the 10 pounds. I
Right.
didn't see Dusty really wear the Big Gold ever. But the commentary, oh,
Oh yeah.
pay-per-views,
Well,
like, that was great.
and it was another one of my favorite moments, and it's probably on most people's most hated moments. But his NWO turn.
Yes, I was
That's
waiting for you to say that.
that's one thing that I never,
The
ever,
Outsiders,
ever expected him to go NWO.
that
And it wasn't shocking. It was like, holy crap, we've gone this far. Even Dusty Rhodes is now in the NWO. But,
you know,
you know,
I
I
don't
mean,
think he lasts that long as NWO, didn't he?
no, it was
no,
only a year.
yeah.
You don't.
Well,
Hold on, he did it for a year.
Yeah, a year. It
Wow.
was 1998.
his matches with his son, Gold Dust, Dustin Rhodes,
Yeah.
when he came back, when Dustin came back to the WCW after the
2000.
WWF stuff in
Yeah.
the 2000 era,
Yeah.
I love those matches. And they're not great matches, and it's older Dusty, it's fatter Dusty. But
It was
Dusty
fun.
Rhodes could cut a promo. He could read you the phone
Mhm.
book and you would listen to it. And there is no way I could not have this list and not have Dusty Rhodes in the top 10.
You
I
can't
mean,
forget about
right.
he invented war games.
Yeah, oh yeah.
He saw Mad
Yeah.
Max, and he saw the Thunderdome, and said to Eric Bischoff, or not Eric Bischoff. Eric Bischoff wasn't there. My bad.
Was it
He
Jim
told
Hurt?
Jim. No, way before Jim Hurt. This was NWA.
That would have
Yeah,
been
87.
was that Cowboy Bob
Bill Watts.
yeah,
Bill,
Cowboy Bill Watts?
I
maybe
don't know.
he might have told Cornette that too, because Cornette was working then too there at WCW.
Was that the point when they had the booking committee at that time?
Well, I know it was Jim Crockett Promotions when War Games was there, because they didn't
Right.
call it Fall Brawl War Games. It was just War Games.
It was just
So
War Games, yeah.
yeah, it was the '87. Because I'm looking at the tape the VHS right now. And
Yeah.
it's Great American Bash, '86 or '87. It's
Yeah.
the infamous picture of with the cage. That's when War Games came out. But yeah, Dusty
That's
created
right.
War Games. Yeah.
That's
Well,
crazy.
I like to
Not to
bring up.
Well, go
Oh,
ahead,
sorry.
Casey. I'm sorry.
I was going to
No,
say Tex skipped over me and went straight to him on number.
Oh, did I? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Casey. Well,
Mine.
I just assumed it was going to be some
It better not be Hulk
nonsensical
Hogan.
version of Hulk Hogan or his sidekicks. So, anyways, continue.
I don't know what you're talking about. My number 7 is Brother Brutai. This is
Oh Jesus.
this is
Oh
the one who used to be Brutus the Barber Beefcake in WWF, but he couldn't use that name, so he stole that name when Gorilla Monsoon used to call him Brother Brutai. So they only used it. What I hear is he only used it once before he disappeared because he only had one match in WCW, and that's so great. That's why he's up on that
this
on
one
my
match
list.
was so great.
So I mean, that's why he's number 7 for me, Brother
Wow.
No
Brutai.
comment. No comment for me.
How often do you walk around cutting and strutting if you love Brutus the Barber Beefcake this much? Like, how often do you do that?
Daily.
Do you have shears?
AJ, save us. What is number 6, brother? Save us. We're
This is gonna
dying
be
here.
very. This is the most controversial one on my list, and it's. I don't think of his personal life. I think of his in-ring his in-ring product. That's the Canadian crippler, Chris Benoit.
It's the Canadian murderer.
Yeah, the Canadian crippler, but the Georgia murderer is what his name
Yeah,
is.
yeah, pretty much. I loved Chris Benoit when he was in WCW. When he joined the Horsemen, he was a perfect fit for the Horsemen.
Oh yeah.
That was even with Brian Pillman in there. He was a perfect fit. Like it, especially with those matches with Kevin Sullivan at
Oh yeah.
Bash at the Beach. Oh wow, those were good matches. Hell, even in his later runs before he jumped to WWE, he was even if it was Starcade 2000 or Starcade 99. Yeah, Starcade 99 because he
Just say
won it
in
for that one
2000 he
night.
was already in WWF, I
Yeah,
think.
yeah,
Yeah.
it was 99 Starcade. When he won the championship.
Right.
He was the best technical wrestler there was ever.
Can't
Pound for
argue
pound,
that.
he
Yeah.
could take anybody. You think these AEW marks that love Brian Danielson or Daniel Bryan, whatever you want to call him, Chris Benoit invented that before Brian Danielson was ever in the wrestling business. That's
Well,
I
he
know
got
I know it gets a lot of flack for it because of Chris Benoit because of what happened. He's blackballed, he's got that stain, but
Right.
I don't look at Chris Benoit as the murderer. I look at him as the wrestler that when you hear his entrance theme, not the WWE one, the WCW one, it's pretty much the Horseman theme. But when you hear
Yeah.
that and you see that stare and he comes walking down there, right down the aisle, all you see is he's ready to go. He wants a piece of your ass and he just wants to beat you up, stretch you, do whatever he's got to do, put that cross face on you, and that's it. That's all he wants to do. But no, go ahead, guys. What's your opinions? I know it's very controversial.
yeah, but you know what we do? You know, he even though he did do that crime, I mean, he is one of the best wrestlers that could train wrestle.
Oh
Right.
Like,
yeah,
God, I was at WrestleMania X7 when he wrestled Kurt Angle in like the first few minutes. That was chain wrestling for the
oh yeah.
first.
He could put on a clinic.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, there's no doubt. And like to me, when that happened, it broke my heart.
Oh, it
For
did. I
Oh,
turned
of course,
18
yeah.
that year. Like literally, he killed his wife and son 3 days after my 18th birthday. And I was a
Wow.
big
oh,
Benoit. I was a big Benoit fan. Yeah, my birthday was
mm,
the 20th. He killed his family on the 23rd.
oh,
That
oh.
broke my heart when I heard on CNN and NBC and Fox and all those that Benoit killed his family. I literally my 18th birthday, I cried because I was a big, huge Benoit fan, like a Horseman fan at that. And then when I heard that, I was like, no, that is fake news. I know people will say, oh, you're a Trump supporter. No, I don't do any of that crap. Okay, I'm just
Right.
saying, I was a huge Benoit fan. Like, I, I to this day, even with all the documentaries of him, and then his family came out, and her and Nancy's family, and I feel so terrible for what happened. And, I hope Sandra and David and all of them can get better with this, with what happened. But it was just a tragedy that should have never happened.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
It's,
can't believe that split up the family like that, because I was like, I mean, yes, it's a giant black eye, but
Yeah,
like,
you're right, Casey. It is.
but you don't figure it's gonna break up the family. Like, I mean, before Dark Side of the Ring, both David and his aunt didn't talk.
Yeah,
Uh, I'm like,
but you gotta understand though, too, Casey. David isn't Nancy or Sandra's blood related family member. That
yeah,
was from Chris's first wife. The
yeah.
yeah.
only the only one from Sandra's family was Daniel, and he died.
Mm. Well, I thought I heard a lot of the family split up because of that.
They
But
stopped talking because of some reason, but it's not like it was. It was. It's really it's really hard to explain. To be honest with you,
yeah,
it's really deep because you got to understand. It's not like, oh, Chris came home one day and just said, "Oh, I'm going to kill my wife and my son," and that's it. It's like whatever happened in that house of horrors through that 3 day span of him
Right.
murdering his wife, his kid, and then hanging himself. Nobody knows what really happened. Nobody. There's been so many speculations of people saying it could have been Kevin Sullivan that broke into the house and killed him and all
Yeah,
that.
that's crazy how that.
It's true.
well,
Yeah.
It could have been.
during that time frame, I was like, okay, I didn't understand, but nowadays it should be well known that he did
Right.
it. I mean, I thought of the Kevin Sullivan idea too, but like after years and years, like it's obviously was Chris himself did it,
Right.
and
With all that mental health and the chair shots and headbutts,
yeah,
his
I mean,
they said his brain was an 80-year-old, 85-year-old Alzheimer's patient. And
Right.
it's just like, geez. Go
yeah.
ahead, Tex.
Oh, sorry.
Well, yeah, that's what I was saying is, it's great wrestler. You can't take that away from him, but
Hmm.
it's there's a term that gets thrown around for like movie stars when it comes to political views, and it's separate the art from the artist, meaning like
Exactly.
I like this person's work, but I hate their real life. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like for me, like Ben Affleck Batman is my Batman, but his political stuff is so different from mine. It's ridiculous.
Oh yeah.
But for me, in my head, when I see Batman, that's the person that I see. So I can see how Chris Benoit would get a top 10 nomination strictly based off of his skills. We're not going to discount or not hold accountable him for what he did to his family. You
Oh, it's
can't do that.
unexcusable.
Well,
But
this. Oh, sorry.
it's just one of those things. It's I can get how you do it because we all have that one celebrity that we really love what they've done, but it's not we don't love who they are. You know what I'm
No, we
saying?
just like
So
what they did.
right,
Right.
yeah, I get it. It makes sense to
Go
me.
ahead. Go ahead,
But
Casey. We're sorry about that.
Casey,
Oh,
who do you got at
well,
number 6, Casey?
Well, I was
well,
gonna let him finish on this Chris Benoit thing because this is
Oh,
a
okay. Yeah,
big
yeah.
please
thing.
go ahead.
I,
Yeah,
well,
yeah, please.
I love how Drew would always say about the Bowflex
Yeah,
thing. His comment about his joke about the Bowflex. but I was like, you know what? I mean, I think it's okay for us to talk about his wrestling side, but let's be frank. There's no way he's ever going to be in the Hall of Fame.
Oh,
There,
never, never.
That'll
and
never happen.
and I mean, there's some people who think he should be. I'm like, there's like no. I'm like, it's like, and people compare it to O.J. Simpson. See, the thing is, it's completely different. One, OJ was already in the Hall of Fame.
Right.
Two, he was quitted from it, even though it, like, but, and it's well known that Chris did this. So if they induct him now, I mean, it's going to be so controversial that I don't think WWE wants that type of controversial.
Yeah, there's no way he'll ever get in anything.
Yeah, there's no chance in hell.
There's no way. You can't do it. I mean, could you imagine if WWE announced, "Oh, this year's coming WrestleMania, Chris Benoit, we're gonna have his son come out and speak for it." Like, how do you think that's gonna go over?
Mouths
You know,
would drop and heads would roll.
right? You're gonna see people leaving in a chant of boos and
Yeah.
middle fingers. You know, but I mean,
There.
now one thing on the Chris Benoit related, if you wanted to put Nancy into the
I
Hall
was
of Fame,
I'm okay with that.
I was
I'm okay
I was
with
just
that.
about to say that because Nancy
Yeah.
actually did a lot for WCW
Yes.
and the wrestling community. I mean, come on,
Yes.
she might have been a valet for Ric Flair and the Horsemen, but I mean, she had a lot of epic moments too. Like, for
Right.
example, with Miss Elizabeth, or maybe was it? Yeah, I think it was Miss Elizabeth. Or no, it was Jackie. It was Jackie, Miss Jackie. You remember her? The
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jacqueline? Yeah.
Yeah.
Her and Nancy had a fight with Kevin Sullivan. It was the Bash. It was the Bash
I
at the
do
Beach
remember that
97 match.
match. Yeah,
Yep.
I do remember that match.
Nancy
Yeah.
and her grabbed each other's hair, was beating the shit out of each other. I
Oh,
remember that. You know, woman was a hell of a wrestler. I mean, ECW, Georgia Championship Wrestling, Florida
Yep.
Championship Wrestling. She was in.
Oh yeah.
She was a good wrestler. She wasn't just a valet.
I don't
she's
think she'll ever
beautiful.
get in though, because I mean, if you bring
She's a
her
Chris.
in, they're gonna say, "Oh well,
Don't
why
think
is she
about-
not here to accept the award?"
Exactly.
Chris
And then
Benoit.
a lot of
Yeah.
yep, exactly. They can't bring up Nancy without bringing up Chris because that bad, that tragedy.
Which is sad that you can't honor a victim
Exactly. Yeah.
for her
Yeah.
accomplishments. But
Hold on. What about the
Hell,
Warrior Award, though? I mean,
I
I
wouldn't
don't
push
think.
that to 10-foot pole.
I think, yeah, publicity wise, I couldn't imagine them trying to explain that.
yeah.
You know what
Hell,
I mean?
Good point.
think about David Benoit. He looks just like his dad. He
Oh
could
yeah.
Oh
never
yeah,
wrestle.
he's
He could never wrestle. He could never be under the name Benoit at all because he looks so much like Chris.
yeah. That's
Well,
I hope he has some life skills because he's not going to make it in the wrestling business.
Well,
No.
I heard he was living up in Edmonton doing oil rigs up there.
yeah, that's what I heard too. Like he's actually
Oh.
making very good money doing
good
that.
for
He
him.
does have he does have some wrestling experiences. Jericho actually has been training him.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
But like you guys say, I think that's pointless. I'm like, I mean, it'd be obviously if he can't use the Benoit name in any of the whoa.
I heard Pegasus Kid, or because that's what Benoit's character was before in ECW and WCW. Before he was Benoit, it was, or no, it wasn't in WCW or ECW. It was in Stu Hart's the Canadian
Yeah.
yeah, when he had Stampede Wrestling. That's when he was under with the Dynamite Kid. Was Pegasus.
I could see AEW hiring him, but not WWE.
Oh yeah, no chance in hell.
No.
I don't even think I see AEW. I know he's more cool
Tony
with
Khan's a
AEW.
mark. He would do it.
I don't.
Yeah, he would do it. I mean, hell, he did that stupid Owen Hart thing. Why wouldn't he do this? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just think the Benoit name is so toxic nowadays that it's kind of hard.
Well, the only reason why I say AEW is the casuals would kill Tony Khan for it, but that hardcore, roughly under 1 million people AEW fan base, they're
Yeah,
gonna eat it up. You know what I mean? So
I don't.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I don't think he's ever gonna come. I know he's a big wrestling fan now.
Oh yeah.
I know he stopped watching it. I mean, I would too if
Bro.
I went through that. But
I think about all the SJWs that would sit there and cry and fucking, oh
yes,
my god, he's in this. And, yeah, they would try to cancel him instantly.
well,
Well, who you got at 6, Casey?
oh, before we do that, I'm gonna have to tell you guys because this is official. We're gonna have to cut that whole thing out, and we're gonna erase the whole thing
What?
because we gotta distance ourselves from the Benoit name. So we have to erase
Are we gonna pull a
the
WrestleMania and completely delete that 20-minute section of it?
Yeah,
That's right. We're gonna have every time we said the name Benoit, we will be bleeping it out of this. And I'll show a picture of a face, but it'll be blurred. But was it 6 now?
6, yes.
Yep, sick.
I gotta go with the man with no name.
Huh? Huh?
Oh wow, that's another deep cut.
That one stomped me. I'm not gonna lie.
That's an old school. Was that?
It's a wrestler who I believe he got amnesia. So when he comes out to the ring, they would show the banner, but would just be blank.
That's like early 90s, I think. Like
Yeah.
early 90s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember that. That one's a deep. Holy cow! I think that was a Jim Herd deal. I'm pretty sure that
Probably.
was.
Yeah, it
It
probably was
probably.
the man.
So, but
That's crazy. So wait, hang on. The man with no name is more significant to WCW than any version of Hulk Hogan or Brutus the Barber Beefcake.
yeah, I mean,
And now, is that because of his handicap of not having a name and the amnesia that he overcame it to wrestle? Is that what it is? Or
yes, sir. Exactly.
oh, okay. So this is like your version of the Warrior Award. You're just gonna, you're just handing this out basically.
Yes, I agree. I think that's perfectly.
Well, man with no name, congratulations, sir, because you just got a number 6 spot. But one person that doesn't like him at number 6 because it doesn't work for him, brother, that's Hulk Hogan, and that's who I'm going with at number 6. And obviously, he's been talked about to death on this list. Hell, Casey's talked about him 3 different times. But when you look at which other wrestler got a parade when they joined that wrestling company,
Nobody.
no other wrestler, when they got their facial hair shaved off, was it a momentous, oh my God, I can't believe they're doing this event. No, when they finally went heel for the first time, when one of my favorite Hogan moments is when Sting, I think it was Sting was facing Kevin Nash, and I think he was partnering with Sid at the time, and Sting needed a tag team partner. This is like 99, 2000. Sting got Hogan to come back out in the red and yellow.
I remember that.
I believe it was it late 99 or was that
It
2000?
was a Nitro. It was 90. It was like December of 99. I guess
it was like right at the end.
It.
Yeah.
Because
that's with
they
that
were
shitty ass bird logo.
Yeah, they had the weird like I've kind of grown to like it a little bit, but I still hate
think
it.
It's dog shit. It looks like a bird.
Yeah, no, it looks weird, but Hogan for so many moments.
Mhm.
You can't think WCW without Hollywood Hogan. And if it wasn't for Hollywood Hogan, there wouldn't have been an 83 weeks or
Exactly. Yeah.
anything else.
Yeah.
And he could have been possibly should have been number one on my list, but there's a few personal favorites just in front of him. But we can't discount the greatness that is Hulk Hogan, and
Right. Not to mention,
in any era. You know what I mean?
not to mention that Hog Wild '96 when he won the title from the Giant and he
Oh
sprayed
yeah,
desecrated the belt, spraying
yep.
NWO on it.
Oh yeah.
What a moment!
And one thing you can never forget is when they did the NWO Elite. You got to see Hulk
Yeah.
Hogan walking out in Jinko jeans. If you haven't seen this, go back and look this up because Hulk
Oh, I've
Hogan
seen
was
it.
trying to look hip and young. He had like a Harley Davidson beanie on, like a
Yep.
flannel shirt with
Yes.
Jinko
You
jeans.
you
He looked
remember that whole
so
thing?
ridiculous. It
You
was
I
remember
it
think
when
was
the
he
hell?
looked good for
Heck,
that.
you remember when
uh,
he came out with the Hell's Angels that night?
that was
They
cool.
circled
Yeah,
the ring. Yeah,
yeah, that was cool. Yeah,
that was that same night.
I mean, and it's like I said on part one of this podcast, for a short time or for a good amount of time, if you bought a Sting WCW action figure and looked at your receipt, it said Hulk Hogan action figure on it because they had to pay the guy off because he made so much dadgum money with them. That's how important this guy was. You know what I mean?
I never thought about that because you know
Yeah.
that Sting figure
Oh,
I
yeah.
have, that's original.
Yeah.
All those
I
figures
forget
are
which.
original.
I want to say it was Tony Schiavone's podcast, or it may have been Bischoff's. I can't remember, but one of them they were talking about in that early merchandise days. The It was a screw up. I think it was on the store level, like when they were between the manufacturer and the stores. But it would ring up Hulk Hogan figure when it could have been a Ric Flair or whoever else it may have been. But
Really?
yeah, it was kind of weird how it all came out. But yeah, Hulk Hogan pick a version. I prefer black and white Hollywood, but that's just me. But
I
so
mean,
number five,
you don't
what's
have
up,
to
guys?
choose. You don't have to choose a version. I mean, you could say I
Well, hell,
prefer
you
this
picked
one.
three of them in here, so we can just do whatever we want, right?
Right.
Exactly.
Who you got at five there, AJ?
The Macho Man.
The Nacho Man, Mr. Slim Jim. I like it.
Oh yeah.
I still love those commercials, dude. That might be
Oh
my
yeah.
favorite thing that Macho ever did was those Slim Jim commercials. Those
Oh
things
yeah.
still hold up. I
Without
wish they
Slim
reshowed
Jim,
those.
without Slim Jim and Macho Man, WCW Halloween Havocs would have
Yep.
never been as good. Especially '96
Oh yeah.
to '97. Yeah, because they only had Slim Jims.
Yeah.
No, '99 too. They had because '98 was Snickers and
Yeah.
'89 was back at Slim Jims. But yeah, those Slim Jim arena, like the mats, just along with the dude holding up the Slim Jim sign for Halloween Havoc, and then the post with the Slim Jims on it. Those are
Right.
iconic.
I love that Halloween Havoc set. That is my favorite wrestling arena of all
'97
time.
is my favorite
I
one. Yeah.
love the big pumpkin and the caskets around it.
Yes.
You got the
Oh, that's
smoke
'98.
going.
You're thinking of.
Yeah,
I'm
that one
talking
was.
'97 with
Oh,
the
okay.
big
Yeah, no,
the
no,
dude's
I'm
face
talking about
on
the
it.
one with the face one was good too, but I love that
Yeah.
big pumpkin. That pumpkin was like, it's like I said on last podcast. If they ever make a play set of that, I will buy that just to have it sitting on a shelf because that looks too cool.
Exactly. Exactly. They have every legal
Yeah.
right to use
Oh
WCW
yeah.
stuff. They
Well,
don't use it. And it's like you could actually make a Nitro arena with the right post,
oh
Yeah.
yeah.
everything, and people will buy it. Hell, the jackets they sold that were WCW ones that WWE put out, the Nitro ones, they
Yeah.
sold like hotcakes.
Oh yeah.
And the NWO stuff sells like hotcakes still to this day.
Yeah.
It's over
There's a reason
25
why
years
this.
ago.
There's a reason why they're still on that website because they sell
Exactly.
like crazy.
Exactly.
Oh yeah. When I went
They
to
could go ahead,
rest,
Casey. I'm sorry.
no, it's all right. When I went to the WrestleMania this past year, and it was the WrestleMania Superstore Access Superstore. They had combined the Superstore and Access together.
Oh, okay.
So it was half access and half superstore. So there was a lot of NWO stuff, and I hadn't had an NWO shirt in a long time, so I bought that one. And on the ends, I believe it says for Dallas for life.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Well,
Yeah,
that's
I
cool.
just got the Six Ball shirt, the one that Six had back in
Yeah.
Oh
1997.
yeah.
I just bought that like a few months ago, actually. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
They need to bring back the Outsider shirt, the one with Scott Hall and Kevin Nash on the front.
Oh, the picture
That,
of them.
yeah,
Yeah,
they
that
need to
one's
bring
good.
that
Yeah.
shirt out.
I would get the red shirt with the wolf.
I've got the
They
Wolfpack shirt.
have
I've
that.
got
I got that.
yeah.
Yeah.
I have I have the black and red NWO, and then the red Wolfpack shirt itself. I've got
Yep.
both of them.
Yeah, I got both of those too. Like they anything they can print that's WCW on a T-shirt or anything, they will make hand over fist of money because there's so many people that love that company. You put
Oh yeah.
that brand out there, in the that's why it's so stupid. Why WWE botched it so bad. You literally could have got like I was in the last episode before I came on here with you guys. I was talking in the chat that literally they could put they botched it so bad. Like you could have got rid of SmackDown and as a whole and could have had WWE versus WCW
Yeah.
every time
It would have been better.
Super-
Yeah.
it would have been. You didn't even have to call it Nitro. It could just be WCW. I mean, you could call it Nitro because it was a flagship. Sure, throw it on either Mondays or throw it on Thursday or Friday. Why not? You'd still have people wanting that company, even though
Oh
it's
yeah.
not the real authentic one. It's still the WCW brand. It's the branding. Branding. It's like the Oakland Raiders. I'm a diehard Oakland Raiders fan.
Right.
You literally can put that pirate logo on anything, and people will buy it because they know it's the Oakland Raiders. That's
Very
why.
true.
Dallas Cowboys. Look at Casey. I mean, come on. Everybody looks at that
Yeah.
star. They know it's the
There's a
Dallas
lot of
Cowboys.
there's a lot of power. I used to wear more logos on T-shirts and stuff. I don't do it as much these days. I don't know.
Right.
Like my style has kind of changed a little bit as I've gotten a little older. But back in the day, like I mean, and I told Casey this on last episode. My mom made me an NWO
Oh,
Wolfpack
that's
shirt.
right.
Yeah, I know. I
You know,
heard that. That's pretty cool.
yeah, like that's how bad I like. Because the only way to get that shirt at the time was what, call and then put a check in the mail. Like my mom didn't
Actually,
do any of that. I don't
actually, you
know.
know what's funny about that is where I used to live. Um, I don't want to dox myself or anything like that, but
Yeah, no,
I'll
don't
say
do
the
that.
city. I'll say the city, Pontiac, Michigan, home
Okay,
of WrestleMania 3, the Silverdome. Okay,
right.
there's Kmart that used to be around there. You literally could buy NWO merchandise from there. You could buy WCW merchandise,
I
WWF
don't.
merchandise. They
Oh,
had that
really?
Kmart. Yeah, back in 1997, in 98 and 99 when wrestling was hot, you literally could go to a Kmart and buy that because like I said, I only been to one WCW show, wrestling show in my whole life. In general, one wrestling show. And that was at Nitro. But when we would
Right.
go to Kmart, we could literally go into the kids section or the adult section, and they would have NWO stuff, WCW, WWF, Stone Cold Steve
I don't
Austin, The Rock,
remember
name it.
ever seeing because I mean
I
I'm in a small area. We didn't have a lot.
right,
I don't. Obviously, they had the action figures. They had the toys.
right.
But that was all that I can remember. If they had T-shirts, I don't remember seeing them.
Yeah, because you know those figures I have, those were
Yeah.
bought from Kmart, and those are the originals. They had
Oh,
all that kind
okay.
of stuff
Well, there
back
you go.
there.
Well, that's cool. I mean, you know, the distribution. Who knows how that worked back in the day?
Right.
But
And
yeah,
I'm talking
no,
about from the north too. And that's a
yeah,
southern region product.
I never, I never saw. The first time I saw an NWO T-shirt in public, I was already in my 20s, and it was at Hot Topic. And this was years after
Don't
it
even
was
get me
already
started
over.
on Hot Topic.
You know, yeah, oh yeah, no, they've gotten a ton of my money, but it's a no, I never, like I said, I never saw it in person, but yeah, that's cool. I mean, it's, you know, the old merchandise sells, nostalgia sells, and it will forever sell, I'm sure. But
Oh yeah.
Casey, where are we on number 5? Yeah.
Yeah,